I hope you're all doing well. Since we are under a 21-day lockdown, I thought it's a good time to practice a few knots. And in this episode, I'm going to be showing how I do the FG knot. And let me begin with a couple of things that we would need to make this FG knot. To begin with, we would need a monofilament or a fluorocarbon leader. We would need a braided main line, preferably attached to the reel. And we would need a pair of gloves to tighten and cinch the knot down. We would need a lighter to finish the knot, and we would need a scissors to trim the knot. I would begin with attaching my spinning reel to the rod and planting the rod firmly either on the ground or on a boat rod holder, so that when I pull the line and I give tension to the line, the rod doesn't fall over. And another thing that I would do is make sure that my drag is tightened up, so that when I pull and give tension on the line, the drag doesn't give way. To make the FG knot, it is not necessary that you thread the braid through all the guides of the fishing rod. You can pull the braid straight off the line roller on the reel. And once you've made sure that the rod and reel are secure and is not going to topple when you pull the line, you can pull a good length of the braided main line and bite it down and give tension on the main line. And while doing this, take the leader, holding it 6 to 9 inches above the braided main line and 6 to 9 inches away from you. I would start weaving the leader on the braided line by taking it over the line and bringing it down under once, and then over the line and down under on the upper side. Once on the underside and once on the upper side. Once on the underside and once on the upper side. While doing this, I will make sure that the braided line has tension, and I will pinch down the weaving that is happening with my fingers. And I will repeat this for 20 to 21 sets on both sides. Once I've completed 20 to 21 sets, this is how my weaving will look like. If you look at the weaving that I have done, it is smooth, there are no bumps in it, and there are no overlaps in it. And this is very important when making an FG knot, because if you're going to have bumps or if your knot is not going to be smooth, it is not going to sail smoothly through your guides, and when you're casting in full force, you're going to end up with a lot of wind knots because of a bad knot. And if you're going to have bumps, it's going to put strain on your main line, and your main line is going to break after a few casts. Once your weaving is complete, you're going to have 4 sides. One would be your braided main line, another would be your leader, and then you will have the tag end of your leader and the tag end of your main line. How I finish this knot is I hold my main line and the tag end of the leader together, and I take the tag end of the main line, put it on the main line and the tag end of the leader, forming a U shape, and I will wrap around the tag end of the leader and the braided main line a few times through the U shape that I have formed. So I'll go once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and the 7th time. And once I have done this, I will hold down the tag end of the braided main line, and with picking up this U shape, I will go wrap around the braided main line and the tag end of the leader again. And if you notice, as I wrap this around, the number of wraps that I have made here will reduce. And I will continue wrapping this until the wraps that I have made earlier fully go away. If you notice here, the wraps that I had made here earlier are fully gone. And now what I would do is wet the line using my saliva, and once I've wet the line, I will pull the tag end of the leader through. And if you notice, my knot has been completed, and all that is remaining is for me to cinch down and finish the knot. Once I've wet the line and I've pulled the knot, all that is remaining for me to do is to cinch the knot and finish this. And I would do it by wearing my pair of gloves. I could finish the knot without wearing my gloves, but there is always the risk of me slicing my fingers with the line. And so once I've worn my gloves, I would first wrap the tag end of the main line around my fingers and wrap the main line around my hand. And when I'm wrapping the braided main line, I will make sure that the line is not overlapping against itself, and I will give it a nice tight pull. Once that is done, I will wrap my hand around the fluorocarbon leader and pull. I will pull to the best of my strength to make sure that the knot is cinched down properly. I would wrap my fingers around the tag end of the main line again and around the braided line again and pull to ensure that the knot is secure. Once I'm satisfied with how tight my knot is, I can take my gloves off, and now all there is left to do is for me to finish the knot. And I finish the knot by making a small overhand knot on the tag end of the leader. And cinching the knot down as close to the FG knot as possible. If you notice, the overhand knot that I tied on the tag end of the main line is very close to the FG knot. Once this is done, I will cut off the tag end of the main line very close to the overhand knot that I tied. The overhand knot will still remain along with the FG knot and will not be cut off. Once the tag end of the leader has been cut off, I will trim the tag end of the leader. I will leave just an of 2 of the tag end of the leader and cut. I leave this small tag end for me to burn it off later. If you don't have a lighter and you won't be able to burn the knot, I would recommend that you cut off the tag end as close to the FG knot as possible. But since I'm going to be burning the tag end, I'm going to leave that much of it so that I can burn without affecting my knot. Once you've cut the tag ends, it's time to finish the knot. And I would wet the knot again and first burn the tag end of the braid and then wet the knot again and burn the leader off. If you notice, there's a small mushroom that's formed where the leader is burned, and this will help prevent the leader from slipping into the FG knot and compromising the knot. And if you also see here, the small puff that was there from me cutting the braided line has welded with the overhand knot that I had tied earlier. The reason I put this overhand knot is so that the tag end of the braided main line will not slip into the knot and compromise the knot. And my knot is complete. If you inspect the knot, there are no curves, there are no bends on the knot. The knot is straight, and this is very important for you to have a good FG knot that will sail through your guides very easily. I would use an FG knot in situations where I would need a really long leader, and because of this FG knot, I can reel my line along with the leader into the guides of my rod, and when I cast, the knot will not affect my casting. I use long leaders when I'm fishing from rocks and jetties, and also when I'm jigging or popping on reefs, or in any situation where the fish pulling the line into the rocks is higher. And having a long leader will be helpful because the fish will have more line to pull before it takes the braid into the rocks where your line can get cut easily. And since monofilament and fluorocarbon is more abrasion resistant, when the leader gets into the rocks, it will not get cut as easily as the braided line would get cut. There you go, guys. My FG knot is done, and I'm fully confident in this knot. I have not yet lost a fish because of a failure of this knot. Take time to practice it at home and get it right. If you're not very confident in the knot, I would advise that you cut it off and retie the knot. It's better to go with a knot that you're fully confident in rather than going with a knot that you're not very confident in and losing that one big fish that you've been searching for a long time. If you found this video helpful, leave a like, leave comments on knots or techniques that you want us to cover, and subscribe to our channel so that you wouldn't miss our upcoming videos. And if you feel that someone can benefit by watching this video, please share our videos as well. Thank you.